What's up, folks? Happy Friday. Cy Shackelford here. This is an impromptu video because after what I saw in Marvel's Loki this past Wednesday, I felt I need to comment on it and make a video out of what I saw to that episode because that's been the best episode so far. Let's see, what was it? The title of it was called The Nexus Event, and as we've seen in previous episodes of the series, a Nexus Event is when basically a divergent timeline or what if universe is created. In fact, this whole episode was called that, and it basically describes both versions of Loki that we've been seeing, the Tom Hiddleston variant and the Sylvie variant, and we got a little more about her background too. But a little bit of recap from the last episode, a little bit. We now know that everybody who works for the Time Variance Authority, they were not created by the Timekeepers. They're just variants that were plucked from other timelines, kidnapped from other timelines, and mind wiped by the TVA or Timekeepers. In fact, a flashback of this during this episode showed Ravonna, the judge for the TVA. They showed her kidnapping Sylvie from a what if Asgard reality, right? And then resetting the timeline after they kidnapped her. And she's a child at this point, and they showed that she was scared when she was being processed by the TVA. And she showed this unusual concern for similarly mistreated prisoners. And I think that's a plot point that they're going to get back to in the future. And she escapes right as she's being judged by stealing one of the TemPads during sentencing. And that's something that Ravonna deeply regrets because that made her look bad. But in the present, both Lokis, Sylvie and Loki, they want to get to the Timekeepers, right? So, and then Ravonna, she's keeping secrets from Mobius in regards to the Timekeepers, and she's closer to the Timekeepers than anybody else. So we're wondering, what is she hiding, right? She lies to Mobius about that one guard that Sylvie affected a few episodes back, guard C20, the one that Sylvie restored her memories. It turns out that Sylvie, she's not enchanting. She's not creating a new set of memories when she enchants somebody. She's working with what's already there. Yeah, the TVA just overwrote what was there just so these people can serve them. Ravonna, she claims that guard C20 is dead. She tells Mobius that, but they actually purged her. It's later revealed in the episode that they actually purged her because she was getting her real memories back. Yeah, Ravonna gives Mobius a lot of pushback, and Mobius, he's kind of shook to his core now that Loki revealed to him that all the TVA employees, the revelation about all the TVA employees being variants. Yeah, both Lokis, they were stuck on that apocalyptic world from the last episode, and they managed to escape right just in time thanks to the TVA. Loki and Sylvie, they pretty much bond, and Sylvie, she does remember her life prior to the TVA kidnapping her. And also, it's also worth noting that both of them together, they created a branch, a Nexus Event, that's unlike any of the other ones that have previously been registered by the TVA. Right, and this happens right before they're both recaptured, so they're going to come back to that in the next two episodes, most likely. What else? Before Loki's being put into like this punitive memory time loop, yeah, like I said, he reveals to Mobius that his entire existence as a TVA employee is a fabrication. So Mobius, he puts him in like this memory time loop where we finally get the return of Jamie Alexander, Lady Sif. I've been waiting for her to come back to the MCU. And she's like, "You conniving, craven, pathetic worm. You did this." Repeats that over and over again. Snuffs Loki, then knees him in the crotch. And it happens like 1,000 times over and over again before Mobius comes back to talk to him or get him out of it. Mobius, he comes back once to let Loki know that Sylvie Actually, let me backtrack. That's my fault. Loki lies about knowing Sylvie all along, and then Mobius in turn lies about Sylvie being pruned. Loki pretends to be dismayed, but he knows that it's all an act. One of the guards, this Viola Davis looking TVA guard, she goes to Sylvie because she now basically her whole being is thrown into question about the revelation. She goes to Sylvie and asks her to restore her memories. She does so and says things like, "I was so happy. So what now?" Ravonna, she meets with Mobius and they declare the Loki case to be closed. But Mobius is still curious about Loki's revelation about the variants. And a question, I think it's a really armor-piercing question that Ravonna asks Loki. Asks, if you can go anywhere, anytime, where would you go? I'm going to come back to that as well, too. She reveals that the Timekeepers, they want to oversee the pruning of the variant Lokis. Right? And Ravonna is still hiding something from Mobius. He knows it, and he figures it out by the episode's end. The Timekeepers, we finally get to see them. And Mobius, his ruse is revealed, and Ravonna has him pruned. Right? And right as the two Lokis are about to be pruned by the Timekeepers, the one guard, the Viola Davis looking guard, she comes in and helps them fight off Ravonna and the Timekeepers, who are then revealed to be androids. So then Loki, he gets pruned, but that doesn't stop the Sylvie variant from attacking Ravonna and demanding to know who created the TVA. And Loki, in a post-credit scene, and this is interesting because Loki, when he gets purged, he ends up in a place where he meets like 3 other Loki variants as well, including a kid Loki variant. So it begs the question, like, where do the purged people go when they get purged? Do they go to like some dimension where they meet other variant versions of themselves? And the fact that the Timekeepers were revealed to be androids, it's all part of the TVA's propaganda, really, and it leads me to believe that Kang the Conqueror, who we know will be played by Jonathan Majors in the upcoming Ant-Man movie, it leads me to believe that either he's behind the TVA in the MCU, or at least is in cahoots with them with his Council of the Kang counterpart organization. Or it could be Kang's future self, Immortus, who later becomes a custodian for the TVA after the Timekeepers are destroyed. But that all happens in the comics, though. And if you could go anywhere, anytime, the question that Ravonna asks Mobius, that's a reference to the TVA's pension plan, because when a TVA employee retires, they can go anywhere, anytime, living a near immortal life, drawing on the TVA's time energy, which they use as a pension plan. So yeah, next episode, I think we're going to learn more about the Timekeepers and how the TVA's organization is basically like the Mandarin from Iron Man, like propaganda, a ruse designed to keep people under control. It's gonna be a doozy, these next 2 episodes, I think. But this episode so far, the Nexus Event, that's been the best episode of the series. I can't wait to see how it ends. Let me know your thoughts at the bottom. Later.